In a landmark judgment by the New South Wales Court of Criminal Appeal, Rebels lifelong bikie Colin Crane has been acquitted of the murder of Clint Starkey, a case that has captured significant public interest. Initially convicted as an accessory before the fact in Clint Starkey's violent death, Colin Crane was sentenced to 16 years in prison in November 2022. The incident arose from a brutal assault at a Caltex Service Station on April 5, 2017, orchestrated by 4 individuals at the direction of Crane and his brother. 6 offenders were sentenced for their respective parts in the homicide of Clint Starkey on June 12, 2017, following their joint trial by jury over 35 sitting days with verdicts returned on July 29, 2022. Colin Crane and his brother James Crane were found guilty of murder. They, along with other offenders, acted pursuant to a joint criminal enterprise to attack the deceased. All were the members of the Peninsula Chapter of the 𝗟𝗶𝗸𝗀. These were Adam Symons, Beau McDonald, Robertson and Jake McDonough. On April 3, 2017, tensions flared at Mangrove Mountain General Store when Clint Starkey and Colin Crane clashed in a heated altercation. Starkey, in a moment of fury, menacingly maneuvered his vehicle towards Crane's, which had his child on board. That evening, the group searched for Starkey at his property in the general store but failed to find him. The next day, Colin Crane expressed his anger about the previous day's incident and told 𝗂𝐨𝐿𝐴𝐻𝐿, his partner, and a store employee about his intent to retaliate against Starkey. The following day, tensions escalated further when Crane crossed paths with Amy Starkey, Clint's cousin, and 𝗂𝐨𝐿𝐴𝐻𝐿, Clint's partner, at a service station, making his mission to find Clint very clear. Later, on the evening of April 8, 2017, Clint Starkey and his friend Simon Rawdon casually visited Mangrove Mountain Memorial Club for a drink. It was here that 𝗂𝐨𝐿𝐴𝐻𝐿 confronted Starkey about the threats made against her family. Later, at around 10:04 p.m., Colin Crane phoned Symons, pinpointing Starkey's location at the service station. Acting swiftly, Symons, accompanied by McDonald and Robertson, raced to the scene. Symons blocked Rawdon's vehicle and forcibly dragged Starkey out, swiftly bringing him down to the pavement. What followed was a brutal assault captured by the service station's CCTV. Symons and McDonald pummeled Starkey with kicks, while Robertson and McDonough joined in, with Robertson landing the most savage blows. The onslaught was merciless, ending abruptly after about 30 seconds. The attackers swiftly retreated to their vehicles and vanished into the night, leaving Starkey grievously injured. The events were starkly recorded by the service station's security cameras, exposing the brutal reality of the revenge-driven assault that had unfolded that fateful evening. Starkey was left unconscious on the service station driveway, bleeding from the head. Symons then phones Colin Crane at 10:13 p.m. to advise that Clint Starkey had been located and had been given a beating. About 29 minutes after Starkey was assaulted, Rawdon drove him to 𝗂𝐿𝐴𝐻𝐿 Hospital. Starkey was injured and unconscious on arrival. The 42-year-old Starkey died in 𝗂𝐿𝐴𝐻𝐿 Hospital 2 months later after failing to recover from serious head injuries. The Crown's case claimed that Colin Crane and his brother James had orchestrated the attack due to ongoing conflicts and threats between Starkey and the Crane family. The evidence was largely circumstantial, relying on phone records and CCTV footage showing communications between the involved parties. After their arrests and a lengthy trial by a Supreme Court jury, Colin Crane and James Crane were both convicted in July 2022 of murder as accessories before the fact. Colin was given a 16-year imprisonment, while his brother James was slammed with a 6-year sentence. Adam Symons, Beau McDonald and Guy Robertson were also convicted of murder over the bashing, while another man, Jake McDonough, was convicted of manslaughter and a final co-accused, Simon Rawdon, was found not guilty. Colin received a non-parole period of 10 years and 9 months, meaning he would have been eligible for release in 2030. In the judgment, the judge noted that Colin Crane joined the Rebels in 1996 at the age of 29 and claimed to have been retired since around 2016. However, the judge was convinced that in 2017 he was still recognized by current members as having Rebels life member status. Colin had relevant prior convictions and committed no significant prison disciplinary infringements during his remand periods. He was arrested on July 21, 2018, and remained in custody until bail was granted on November 12, 2021, totaling 3 years and 4 months. From November 12, 2021, to July 29, 2022, He was on bail under restrictive conditions, which he fully complied with. The judge concluded that there was no significant risk of Colin Crane reoffending. Crane was in generally poor health and had been so for some years prior to his arrest. The case garnered significant media coverage due to the involvement of rebels bikies, the number of accused, and the violent nature of the crime. However, on July 3, 2024, the Court of Criminal Appeal granted Crane leave to appeal and ultimately quashed the guilty verdict. They determined that the evidence presented was insufficient to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Crane intended for the victim to suffer grievous bodily harm. 𝐒𝐮𝐻𝐫𝐿 has obtained the copies of both the judgment and the appeal, which are attached in the description of this video, free for anyone to download and have a read. The latest decision emphasized the lack of direct evidence regarding Crane's specific instructions to the assailants. The court noted that although there was a web of communications suggesting Crane's interest in the victim's location, it was unclear whether he had instigated or was aware of a plan to inflict serious harm. As a result, the court entered a verdict of acquittal, stating that any doubt regarding Crane's intent should have led the jury to the same conclusion. Following the news of his brother's case, James Crane took to Facebook and said, "My brother Colin has been acquitted of all the charges, he is coming home. To everyone who doubted us. I've just lodged my appeal for no conviction, it's time to get it right. F the system. I've done 5 years for something I didn't do, we stood staunch and true to the cause. Rebel power." Colin Crane's conviction has now been overturned. This case has shown how hard it can be to prove complex crimes involving plans by multiple people. It also shows how important it is to have strong evidence to make sure justice is fair. This case is significant because it sets a precedent, a standard or example, for future legal decisions. By overturning Colin Crane's conviction, the Court of Criminal Appeal has established a new guideline for similar cases involving complex criminal actions and the burden of proof. This precedent will influence how similar cases are approached and judged in the future, shaping the way justice is pursued in Australia's legal system. If you're looking for more thrilling and edgy bikie updates, don't hesitate, whack that subscribe button, spread and share the video, hit that like button, and drop your thoughts in the comments. And for the true grid Spartans out there, consider sending a super thanks or buy us a coffee to show some love. Your support keeps us going and the channel thriving, especially since most of our videos aren't monetized due to all the crime-related content. Stay tuned, stay curious, stay awesome, and take care. Wu-Tang.